Justin Clad Beck writes, "Hi gang, I love the shows and how much fun you all have together. I can tell you got something special going on."
We don't get along.
John Campea. What's wrong with you, kid? Do you watch this show?
You want Michael Bay to make every movie.
I can't believe Alice is talking about Michael Bay again. She's trying to move on and we're not done yet.
Justin Clad
She
Beck
hates us.
wants us to answer
We
this.
all.
Let her read the question.
No!
I'm periscoping all of this right now, guys.
All right. He says, "We all know that James Cameron's film Stadium on top of the movie Mountain is..."
We all hate Dennis Zhang. It's Dennis Zhang's fault because he kicks puppies. Look at him over there. He's smiling. He knows it's true.
You have to put the ball gag back
And
on.
Ray and Jonathan Volkia. We all hate everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the question?
Okay. I know that E.T. had that honor for a while. With the prices nowadays being $10 or more for a movie, is it fair to compare older hits to new hits in terms of who made more money? And would an older film surpass Avatar if it could have averaged a $10 ticket price tag?
The issue is actually more complex than just saying, well, what if old films also had what? And by the way, 2014, when you take into consideration matinee ticket prices, off-weekend prices, special prices, premium prices, blah. When you take that all in, and you can look this up, the average ticket price for a movie in the United States in 2014 was $8.17. So that's the average ticket price, depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so what if we made the average ticket price that in 1990? Well, but then you also have to consider this. The average household income in the United States of America in 2014 was $49,000. The average household income in the United States in 1990 was like $30,000, something like that. So you can't just take the prices of today and transfer them back 15 years ago and say, there, now it would be an even comparison. It's like, actually, no, because the circumstances are different. So there are so many variables that go into like cost and effect kind of ratios here that, you know what? Let's just go with whatever the number is and just kind of stick with it. Mark, how do you see it?
I wouldn't go that far though, because I mean, look, when people were going to see Gone with the Wind, it was like a nickel or a piece of popcorn.
Right,
like either one you could trade to go see the movie. But when you do adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind has always been number one. Star Wars creeps up there. I think E.T. is way up there. Sound of Music is way up there. I don't think Avatar hits until like I think it's like 14 or 15 on the list when you adjust for inflation. So I think there is some credibility to that when you're looking at just how many tickets actually sold, how many butts were actually in the seats to see a movie. And I think that you only have that and then the Avengers are the only movies that have come out since 2000.
Right.
Titanic is close up there too, because a lot of people saw Titanic again and again and again and again in 97. But something like Gone with the Wind was a beast, and Gone with the Wind kept coming out in movie theaters. It had a run for like, I don't know, 40 years.
Well, right. Remember that. I mean, when you're talking about something like Gone with the Wind, history lesson, there was no cable, no television. I just had a Lyft driver asking me, like, I don't know what came first, television or cable. Were they both created at the same time? And I was like, basically, the ride here, I explained to her how, not just how we were cavemen at one point in time, but I gave her a quick lesson. Like, no, actually, first there was electricity, then radio, then television, then cable, and now the web, and now the world blows up. But, you know, so I was trying to explain to her, like, so you're talking about Gone with the Wind, and it's something like 5 cents. But remember, that was the only form of entertainment, like a very large form of entertainment, were the movies. They had cartoons at the beginning. There was this whole process where people really look forward to going to see the movies. Nowadays, movies are like larger, blockbuster, transformational event style things. We still have independent film, but there's just so many more options. You guys are watching us on, you know, a phone, or, you know, we're on the web, you know, so there's all these amazing new inventions. So the only thing that really hasn't changed is minimum wage. I think, you know, that's the one thing where it's like everything else gets more expensive or less expensive. These people still are getting the same little low, crappy amount. So I think minimum wage should go up, guys. That's what I have.
Well, the other thing you got to take into consideration too, going to your point, was that like back when Gone with the Wind was coming out, you weren't getting 17 nationwide release films every single month.
Right,
yeah.
You know, so I mean, so there's so many different variables. So one way of looking at it is say, okay, take the average ticket price, figure out how many tickets were sold to that movie.
Yeah.
And maybe just go like that. But then you're getting what Schnepp was talking about. It's like there was no cable, there was no Xbox, there weren't 5 other films opening next week to compete against it and try to take away from it. So I'm not really sure what the best way is. I don't think the industry has figured out the best way. And so we just go, you know what? Given our current circumstances, our current economy, our current, you know, like realities here, this much per tickets, this is how much people make, this is how much competition there's, we just go by dollar value. I think there must be a better way. but I don't know what it is. But I'm sure somebody will come up with it
Well,
sometime.
the problem is none of us like each other and can stand being in the same room as each other long enough to figure out what
figure
that
it out.
was.
Wait a sec. Here's another anecdote, guys, that I don't like hanging out with. Star Wars. Remember when that came out? It was almost like Gone with the Wind. Not technology hadn't changed that much. We still had TV. That was the big one. But that was pretty much it. We didn't have cable. We didn't have cell phones or the web or anything. So that's why even something like Star Wars, it was like repeat business. It stayed in theaters for over 2 years. It was just like it was like a monster. People were like, I need to see that movie again. How do you see it again? Must go back to the theater. That was the only way to get that, that release to see that movie,